Hello again and welcome to English with Margot. In this specific video, I'm going to talk about the writing task 2. As you know, in the IELTS test, we have writing task 1 and writing task 2. Writing task 2 is quite challenging and it comprises of about 70% of the overall mark. So as you know, the mark in the writing task is actually divided into two categories. You've got about 30 or between 30 and 40% for writing task 1, and then the rest is for writing task 2, which is about 70% at least. So you have to focus very well on writing task 2. Many students, actually, many students, or many people actually, just normal people or candidates, lack the strategy of writing a perfect or professional essay. Why? Because they're not well structured. They don't know how to actually write or type a well-structured essay. They're not quite aware of the strategy. It's not about memorizing a specific strategy, but it's about applying something that would place you on the safe side. So if you don't know the strategy in the writing task, you wouldn't be able to score 7+ and higher. It's a very challenging task. I assume many of you guys, many of the people who are watching this video right now are struggling with the writing task. Why? Because they don't know the technique, they don't know the skills, they don't know the tricks of that specific essay. They don't know how is it marked or how it is marked. It's very actually important to focus on the specific essay or on this specific task. It's about focusing on task achievement, coherence on cohesion. It's about using values verb tenses. It's about using complex sentences, simple sentences. It's always, and the most important thing for me is writing a very professional introduction. If you don't write a professional introduction, you won't be able to succeed or to score high in writing task 2. What is the introduction? How do we write a professional introduction? And what to do in the main body paragraphs? Before I move more into details, you need to be aware of the strategy of writing task 2. I'm going to show you the structure, but as a whole, we have introduction, main body paragraph 1, main body paragraph 2, and then we have the conclusion. It's a very, very technical strategy. If you miss the conclusion, you will lose marks. If you miss one of the main body paragraphs, you would lose marks. If you miss the introduction, you would definitely lose more and more marks. And also, we have about 250 words. If you write less than 250 words, you would score low. So you have to focus and concentrate very well. You need to remember all these points before getting more in deep with the writing task. Now, I'm going to move into it. Okay, so I'm going to share something with you. Okay, that's the one here. Okay, can you see it now? I think, yes, you can see it. So as you can see, I'm going to start first with the opinion essay. Usually, or actually normally, we have 5 question types. We have opinion essay, discussion essays, advantages and disadvantages, problem and solution essays, and double question or direct questions essay. So we have 5 types. Usually, the advantages and disadvantages essay is split into 2 types or 2 sorts that you will have to be aware of. In this specific video, I'm going to cover opinion essays, okay? So please stick to the end of the video. You are not gonna get bored. You will learn all the strategies to be able to score high in this specific task. So how to plan and write IELTS opinion essays? IELTS opinion essays, also known as agree or disagree essays. come up frequently in the writing exam. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to plan and write them step by step. So, once you understand the process, practice on past questions, take your time at first, and gradually speed up until you can plan and write an essay of at least 250 words in the 40 minutes allowed in the exam. So the question, the first part of the question for an IELTS opinion essay will be a statement. You will then be asked to give your own opinion about the statement. Here is some typical wording that might be used. For example, how do we identify the type of the question? How do we find out that this question is an opinion essay? How? If you find this question, for example, what is your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? So if you come across one of these questions, so then it's an opinion essay. Now, here is some question from a past test paper. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So as you can see, we have this specific question, and also we always have this repetitive statement. We always actually write the same statement with every single question in the writing task 2 essay. So it says write at least 250 words. I will be using this question to guide you through the process of planning and writing an IELTS opinion essay. 3 common mistakes. These 3 errors are common in IELTS opinion essays. First one, not stating an opinion. If you don't state an opinion, you will lose marks. If you don't give arguments for both views, you will lose marks. If you don't support your opinion with clear reasons, you would also lose marks. The most common mistake that students make is not giving an opinion. The question will clearly state you must choose one side of the argument. If you fail to do this, you will get a low score for task achievement. It doesn't matter which side of the argument you take or even that you agree with it. Choose the one you can develop the best argument for. For example, if the question is asking you about pollution, don't overthink about agreeing or disagreeing. They don't care about this. The examiner cares. If you agree, he's going to check if the supporting reasons that you have written are quite relevant to the actual question. Same as if you are disagreeing or if you disagree. So you need to be careful. Make sure that you don't change your opinion part way through the essay and don't give reasons for the opposing view. If you agree, support this with 2 reasons or like 2 main ideas. You don't need to jump on the disagreeing section. You don't worry about it. If you agree, stick to it and make your arguments based on it. Explain based on these arguments. Don't worry about the other side of the question, which is disagreeing, because you didn't choose it. So don't worry about it. Now the essay structure. Let's look at a simple structure you can use to write opinion essays. It's not the only possible structure, but it's the one I recommend because it's easy to learn and will enable you to quickly plan and write a high-level essay. So first of all, we have the introduction. In the introduction, you need to paraphrase the question. What is the meaning of paraphrasing the question? Paraphrasing means replacing words with synonyms. You don't need to replace every single word. It's about replacing the words that you are able to do so. If you can't find a synonym of a specific word, just keep it as it is. You can order, you can change the order of the sentence. For example, if the sentence starts by a part and ends by a specific part, you can just switch them over. Okay, you can do that. It's fine, because it's still called paraphrasing. If you find it very hard to actually find synonyms, you can change the order of the sentence. You can change the verb tenses. For example, instead of verbs, you can use nouns, or you can just move to the passive form. If it's actually written in the active form, you can move it to the passive form. I will show you more details about it. So the first thing that you have to do is paraphrasing the question. The second thing is to give your own opinion if you either agree or disagree. It's okay to say I'm inclined between agreeing or disagreeing. You can do both, it's fine. But I do recommend to take one side only. Okay, but if you feel like you want to disagree, or you want to agree at the same time, so then your main body paragraph will be about agreeing, for example, and the second one will be about disagreeing points. It's fine, but I do recommend to actually stick to a specific side. How do you give your opinion in the second sentence? How? For example, you can say, in my opinion, I believe that blah, 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 or you can say, I totally disagree with that statement, or I totally agree with that statement. That's how you state your opinion. And then the last point is to state the two supporting reasons. For example, if you choose to agree to one specific side, so then you will have to actually write two supporting reasons. The first supporting reason will be the topic sentence for the first main body paragraph, and the second supporting reason will be the main topic for the second main body paragraph. I will show you what it means. Just stick around. Moving now to main body paragraph 1. Usually, we always have a standard structure for the introduction, main body paragraph, and the conclusion in all the question types in the essay. You always have to start your introduction by paraphrasing the question and stating the two supporting reasons, and include your opinion. If the examiner is asking you about your opinion, you can include it. But usually the structure of the introduction doesn't change. Paraphrasing, two supporting reasons. Okay, when you state the two supporting reasons, that's what we call outline sentence, or that's what we call outline statement. And when you write your opinion, that's what we call thesis statement. Okay, so now let's move to main body paragraph 1. You will have to start by a topic sentence. In the topic sentence, you will need to outline the first reason for supporting this view. So that specific reason that you have already written in the introduction. So this one has been already written in the introduction. Now, in the topic sentence here, you have to write it in your own way. You can paraphrase it more, or you can make it more clear, more obvious. You can add more things to it. It's fine, as long as it's still the same supporting reason or the same idea that you have already written in the introduction. You write the topic sentence, and then you have to explain the idea, and then you have to give an example. The example could be personal, or could be based on the study. For example, you can say, my uncle, blah, 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 blah. I am an example of this myself, for example. Or you can even say, a survey carried out in the UK has proved that 26% of people, blah, blah. You can even make up percentages. You can even make up locations. It's fine. The examiner is not going to check your facts. Okay? So in the main body paragraph 2, same as well. So we start at the topic sentence where you outline the second reason for supporting this view. And that second reason has been already written in the introduction. Now you have to write it in your own way with more paraphrase, or you can add more information to it. But not more ideas, not new ideas to it. You can just expand it a bit, but don't add new ideas, because you have already written two specific ideas in the introduction. You don't have the right to add more ideas in the main body paragraphs. Don't do this mistake. You would lose marks. So you outline the second reason here, you explain, and you give an example. Or if you can't find an example, you can expand on your idea. So you can actually expand your explanation. It's okay. But I do recommend to at least use one example in one of the main body paragraphs as it's stated in the question, because in the question they asking you give examples if relevant. Did you get it? So you have to mention at least one example in one of the main body paragraphs. In the conclusion, you just have to summarize your opinion and the key reasons. For example, the two main ideas that you have already written in the paragraph 1 and 2, you can just write it in your own way with more paraphrase, and then you have to restate the opinion again in the conclusion. And I will show you a trick for the conclusion at the end of this lesson. So this structure will give us a well-balanced essay with 4 paragraphs. We now need some ideas to add into the structure, and we will have everything we need for our essay. So the first thing is how to plan our opinion essays. The first step you will need to do is decide on your opinion. So now the pen is on the side. I'm not using my pen, I'm using my brain. I'm brainstorming right now. So I have to decide on my opinion at first. The question I've chosen to work on is quite straightforward and easy to understand, so we don't need to spend time analyzing it. The first task then is to decide on our opinion. So here's the question again. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? For this essay, I'm going to disagree with the statement and argue that job satisfaction is more important than a big salary. So that's my opinion. I'm going to agree that job satisfaction is more important than a big salary. So then I disagree with this. So I disagree that big salary is much more important. So I just decided on my opinion. The second step is to generate ideas. The second task is to generate ideas to write about. Since I'm going to argue that job satisfaction is more important than a large salary, I need ideas to support this view. There are several different ways to think up ideas. With this particular question, I immediately thought of a couple of examples of situations where job satisfaction did prove to be more important than a high salary. I'm going to use the example method of generating ideas. Once you've thought of an example or two ideas to include in your essay, ideas to include in an essay should come to you easily. You might want to try this yourself before reading on for more ideas. So what does it mean? So that means I'm trying to think about the main ideas and the examples that I'm going to mention later in the essay. So for example, here, examples, Uncle Barry boasted about high salary, but hated his job. Nervous breakdown, lost job, and cannot work. Another example, me gave up teaching, now enjoy my work and am much more relaxed and happier, even though I earn much less money. I do recommend to think about the ideas first and then the examples as second. So let's forget about this. Don't be confused, okay? Let's forget about the examples now. Let's think about the ideas. Let's focus first about the ideas. So now I'm brainstorming. You just have to use one idea because you need 2 ideas. So for example, it says here, high salary jobs are generally more stressful. Stress leads to ill health, both mental and physical. 40 hours a week at work, a third of the day. As you can see, all these ideas support my opinion, as I disagreed that job salary is more important than job satisfaction. Now I'm going to keep thinking about more ideas. Money doesn't bring happiness, better quality of life, sense of fulfillment, less stressed, healthy and happier. So as you can see, all of these ideas support my opinion. But now I've got more ideas here than I need. So I'm going to pick two to develop in the essay, one for each of the main body paragraphs. The first idea I'm going to choose is high salary jobs are generally more stressful and can lead to ill health. The second idea, job satisfaction gives a sense of fulfillment. So as you can see, we have two ideas here. So as you can see, idea one and idea two. So I'm going to choose these ideas. I'm going to write these ideas in my introduction, and these ideas will be the main topic sentences for main body paragraph one and the second body paragraph. So now I decided on my ideas. When you decide on your ideas, try to think about the example as well, because these ideas are going to be detailed in the main body paragraphs. So if you can try to think about examples beforehand, that would be amazing. Now I can go back to the example section here. So now for the first idea, I'm going to mention this example. So I'm going to talk about my uncle Barry that used to boast about high salary. Boasted means when you boast about something means you show off. Okay, you show off clearly. So boasted about high salary but hated his job, nervous breakdown, lost job and cannot work. I think that would be an amazing example to support the first idea. Now the second example, me, I'm going to talk about myself, gave up teaching, now enjoy my work and I'm much more relaxed, happier, and even though I earn much less money. So as you can see, these two, the first example here support this idea, the first one, and the second example, which is I gave up teaching, supports the second one, which is job satisfaction, gives a sense of fulfillment. Now we are almost ready to start writing our IELTS opinion essay, but first we have one other small task to do, which is thinking about vocabulary. Let me remind you of what we did. First, we decided on our opinion. We chose the two ideas that I'm going to talk about, and I thought about the examples related to every single idea. Now I have to think about vocabularies. In an IELTS essay, it's important to be able to say the same things in different ways, either by paraphrasing and or using synonyms. During the planning stage, quickly jot down a few synonyms of keywords you could use to save you having to stop and think of the right language while you are writing. So try to think about the vocabularies, the main words that you are going to use during the essay. Write these words down and try to think about some synonyms. Why? Because you need to avoid repetition. You can't repeat a lot of words again and again, throughout the essay. So it's always better to avoid or to avert repetition. Okay? For example, satisfaction. Instead of using the word satisfaction all the time during the essay, I can replace it by the word fulfillment, achievement, sense of accomplishment, content, sense of well-being. Instead of using the word salary all the time, I can use income, wages, pay, earnings. Instead of using important all the time, I can use significant, valued, has more meaning, paramount, pivotal, substantial. We have a lot of words, significant. Instead of using job all the time, you can use work, employment, position. So as you can see, I was writing down the main words that I think I'm going to use repeatedly in the essay. So I wrote these words down and I thought about some synonyms of these words. With that done, we can focus on the first paragraph of the essay, which is the introduction. Let's move to the introduction. So let me remind you of how to write an introduction again. A good introduction has a simple three-part structure. The first one, paraphrase question, feed the statement, and outline statement. An introduction should have about 2 to 3 sentences. Let me just remind you of the thesis statement. Thesis statement means the opinion. For example, this essay totally agrees with the statement, or this essay totally disagrees with that statement, whatever. And the outline statement means the two supporting reasons that would be, detailed in the first main body paragraph and the second main body paragraph, as I mentioned earlier. So usually an introduction should have about 2 to 3 sentences, be 40 to 60 words long, and take 5 minutes to write. Why only 5 minutes? Because I have already thought about the opinion, the vocabulary, the main ideas, and the examples. You will take about 5 minutes before you write. So before start writing, take about 5 minutes to brainstorm. Think about the two supporting reasons that you are going to write in your essay. But before that, you need to first think about the opinion, if you would agree or disagree. If you agree, now the second step, you will need to think about the main ideas. And then after that, you will need, when you are thinking about the main ideas, try to think concurrently or like simultaneously at the same time means. So try to think at the same time, think about the examples of these supporting reasons to be able to elaborate in your main body paragraphs. So the first step then in the introduction is to paraphrase the question. How do we paraphrase the question? Start your introduction by paraphrasing the question. So a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Let's paraphrase this. It says, it is argued, so we added this. It's beautiful to always, sometimes start your essay by something very exciting or something very, heavy or something very academic. It's argued, or some people argue that. It's argued that. I like actually this beginning. So you can add this, by the way. You can add more words in your, even if you are paraphrasing, you can add more words as long as it's not changing the overall meaning of the sentence. So it's argued that earning lots of money. So as you can see, earning lots of money, this one was used instead of a big salary. So we have replaced a big salary by earning lots of money. So it's argued that earning lots of money has more significance instead of is much more important. Has more significance to people. We added to people. We added this. It's okay. Then being content in their work. Instead of a job satisfaction, I replaced job satisfaction by being content in their work. As you can see, they even used the plural, the plural pronouns, which is there. Okay, so that they use the specific pronoun there, this possessive pronouns. So they used people, and so they relied on people. So you can add people. So as you can see, they added. It's argued that we added this. We added people. It's fine, and we have replaced all of the words with synonyms. As long as you are able to do this, then it's amazing. And I don't think it would be so difficult to actually find a synonym for salary. You can use income, you can use wage, you can use remuneration. You can even, instead of job satisfaction, you can say sense of fulfillment, sense of accomplishment, or sense of content. We have a lot of synonyms. So now we've done from the first part. So now that I've used some of the synonyms I listed, although it's fine to repeat 1 or 2 words, as I told you, if you need to. Above all, your language must sound natural. That's a very important thing. So you need to sound natural as much as you can. The second sentence of the introduction is thesis statement. In IELTS opinion essays, the thesis statement is where you state your opinion. For example, this essay totally disagrees with that statement. So I have written my opinion. Now I'm disagreeing. I disagree that big salary is more important than job satisfaction. So I disagree with this. So this essay totally disagrees with that statement. That's all you need to say. If you decided to agree with the statement, you would write, this essay completely agrees with that statement. As simple as that. Now let's move to the outline statement where you have to write the two main ideas. So finally, in the introduction, you must outline the two main points, ideas 1 and 2 above, that you will cover in the rest of the essay. Do it in one sentence, or you can add them onto the end of the thesis statement. You can merge the thesis statement with your outline sentence. It's fine. So do it in one sentence, or you can add them onto the end of the thesis statement if appropriate. Let's see the outline statement. I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of stress-related ill health frequently experienced by people in highly paid positions. So that's the first idea. And they care more about being fulfilled at work. That's the second idea. So let's bring the three elements of our introduction together now. Let's see it. It's argued that earning lots of money has more significance to people than being content in their work. This essay totally disagrees with that statement. I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of stress-related ill health frequently experienced by people in highly paid positions, and they care more about being fulfilled at work. So that's the introduction. As you can see, we paraphrase the question here. That's the thesis statement, and that's the two main ideas in here. So we've done from the introduction. So now this introduction achieves three important functions. It shows the examiner that you understand the question. It acts as a guide to the examiner as to what your essay is about, and it also helps to keep you focused and on track as you write. So the two ideas in your introduction will become your two main body paragraphs. So the first main body paragraph will be about concerns about the risk of stress-related ill health. That was already written in the introduction. And the main body paragraph 2 will be about a sense of fulfillment at work. And as you can see, these two are supportive to my side when I disagreed that big salary is more important than job satisfaction. So moving now to the main body paragraph 1. So the structure of a good main body paragraph has three parts: topic sentence, explanation, and example, as I mentioned earlier. So if you can't think of an example, you can add further supporting ideas, but we already have our two examples, so that's not an issue here. So as you remember, in the brainstorming section, when I was thinking about the ideas, we already thought about some examples that are relevant to every single idea. So if you have done this step earlier, you would save up a lot of time, okay? So a common problem when writing main body paragraphs for IELTS opinion essays is having too many ideas. Again, we have already chosen the two ideas we are going to develop, so we are all set to start writing. You can see how important the planning stage is and how it makes the actual writing of the essay far quicker and easier. Main body paragraph 1. The topic sentence summarizes the main idea of the paragraph. That's all it needs to do, so it doesn't have to be complicated. It plays an important role in ensuring that your ideas flow logically from one to another. It does this by acting as a signpost for what is to come next. That is what the paragraph will be about. If you maintain a clear development of ideas throughout your essay, you will get high marks for task achievement, cohesion, and coherence. We will now take the idea for our first main body paragraph and create our topic sentence. So that was the first idea that I have already written in the introduction, concerns about the risk of stress-related ill health. Now let's start the topic sentence. Employees earning a large income are generally under significant mental and emotional pressure to perform well and achieve targets. So that was the same sentence that was written actually in what's called in the introduction. Okay, so that was already written, but I just wrote it in my own way. So you just have to beautify the sentence. Okay, you can make it in your own way. You can paraphrase it more or add or expand it a bit expanded. Don't add new information to it. Just try to expand it. If you add something new to it, it's fine as long as it's still relatable to the actual idea. Okay. So next we must write an explanation sentence. So now we have written the topic sentence. Now we have to jump to the explanation sentence. This explains to the examiner what we mean. It expands on our idea. So let's see the explanation here. This causes many individuals to suffer high levels of stress, which can result in both mental and physical health problems. Okay, now let's see the example. Finally, we add an example to support our main point. I thought of this in the planning stage, so I have it ready to use. If you can't think of a real example, it's fine to make one up, as long as it's believable. The examiner is not going to check your facts. As I told you, you can say, a survey was carried out in the UK, proved that 25% of the people, you can make up percentages, you can make up locations, it's fine, as long as it's believable and it's supporting your explanation or your topic sentence. So now let's see the example sentence. This happened to my uncle. He used to boast about his huge salary, but the boss kept increasing his sales targets. And in the end, the stress became too great and he had a nervous breakdown. Now he regrets being driven by the money. So that's the 3 parts of our first main body paragraph complete. Here is the finished paragraph again. Employees who earn a large income are generally under significant mental and emotional pressure to perform well and achieve targets. Topic sentence. This causes many individuals to suffer high levels of stress, which can result in mental health problems. That's the explanation. This happened to my uncle. He used to boast about his huge salary, but the boss kept increasing his sales targets, and in the end, the stress became too great and he had a nervous breakdown. Now he regrets being driven by the money. That's the example. So we now follow the same process for our second main body paragraph. Let's move to the main body paragraph 2, which will be about job satisfaction gives a sense of fulfillment, and that was already written in the introduction. First, we write the topic sentence to summarize the main idea. So the topic sentence, having a job that they enjoy doing and in which they feel valued is a major concern for most of the modern workforce. See how beautiful actually is this paraphrasing or this topic sentence. So he didn't actually add new information to it. What did I do? Okay, here. So as you can see, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so as you can see, he replaced job satisfaction by having a job that they enjoy doing, okay? And gives a sense of fulfillment, he said, in which they feel valued. As you can see, he's playing on the words, but he still keeps the same meaning or the overall topic of the sentence. And he added more information related to it when he said, it's a major concern for most of the modern workforce. He didn't add new information here or new ideas. He just expanded on the topic sentence to make it more clear, okay? It's amazing. I loved when he actually when we added is a major concern for most of the modern workforce. Now for the explanation sentence. Now let me just. So now for the explanation sentence. Okay. Now for the explanation sentence to explain this idea. Explanation sentence. A significant number of people are given up well-paid positions to do jobs which pay less, but that they find more enjoyable and less stressful. Amazing explanation. He explained his topic sentence or his idea. Finally, our example. An example to support our main point as before. I thought of this in the planning stage, so just need to form it into a couple of sentences. I am an example of this myself. A year ago, I left the teaching profession because the workload had become too great and I am now a gardener. I feel really fulfilled at this work, and I am much more relaxed and happier, even though I earn far less money. Definitely, I didn't quit my job. I didn't do that. I just made it up. Okay? So that's the three parts of our second main body paragraph complete. Here is the finished paragraph. Having a job that they enjoy doing and in which they feel valued is a major concern for most of the modern workforce. Topic sentence. A significant number of people are giving up well-paid positions to do jobs which pay less, but that they find more enjoyable and less stressful. Explanation. I am an example of this myself. A year ago, I gave up the teaching profession because the workload had become too great, and I am now a gardener. I feel really fulfilled in this work, and I'm much more relaxed and happy, even though I earn far less money. Now we need a conclusion, and our IELTS opinion essay is done. So how to write a conclusion? Conclusions to IELTS opinion essay should do two things. Summarize the main points. Actually, summarizing the main points is not only for opinion essay, it's for actually all the types of IELTS opinion, IELTS writing tasks, writing task 2 essays. So you need to summarize the main points, and you need to state to the opinion again. You need to show the examiner that I'm restating my opinion again in the conclusion. So this can generally be done in a single sentence. If you are below the minimum 250 words after you've written your conclusion, you can add an additional prediction or recommendation statement. You can do this in your conclusion. The conclusion is the easiest sentence in the essay to write, but one of the most important. A good conclusion will neatly end the essay, link all your ideas together, and sum up your argument or opinion, and also it answers the question. If you achieve this, you will improve your score for bar task achievement and cohesion and coherence, which together make up 50% of the overall marks. Without a conclusion, you will score below band 6. So you will score below band 6 for task achievement. So be careful and don't miss it out. So don't miss it out. You can start almost any final paragraph of any IELTS opinion essay with the words in conclusion or to conclude. Some people actually, end the essay by, or start the conclusion by to recapitulate or on balance, or I just recommend in conclusion or to conclude, just to be on the safe side. So now all you need to do is briefly summarize the main ideas into one sentence. Here's a top tip. Go back and read the introduction to the essay, because this is also a summary of the essay. It outlines what you are going to write about. What does it mean? Okay. To create a great conclusion, you simply have to paraphrase the introduction. Let's give it a go. That's the introduction, as you can see. If you remember, now we have the conclusion here. Here is the same information formed into conclusion, okay? So it says here, in conclusion, for a high percentage of the population, earning a substantial wage is less important than job satisfaction because of the negative effects of work-related stress and the desire to feel happy and fulfilled at work. So as you can see, substantial age, job satisfaction, negative effects, feel happy, fulfilled at work, high percentage. So if you read the conclusion again, it's simply paraphrasing of the introduction. That's it. If you want to be on the safe side, just paraphrase the introduction. That's what you have to do in the conclusion section. It's not complicated at all. So that's it. We have completed our essay here with the 4 paragraphs put together. So now that's the full essay, as you can see, and it says 272 words. Okay, so it's 272 words, and that exceeded the 250 words, and that's amazing. Okay, so you always have to write at least 250 words. If you need to count it. If you are doing a physical or like a paper-based exam, you will have to actually count the words. If you are doing a computer-based exam, I think maybe the screen will show you the word count. Okay, so as you can see, that's the opinion essay, and the structure is quite the same as for the other question types, but definitely I'm going to go through all the question types. Okay, so I'm going to go through all the question types and I'm going to explain all these question types again. So I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages essays, discussion essays, problem and solution essays, and double question essays. I'm going to upload more videos about all the question types to be able to fully understand the technique and the structure of every single question type. Okay, try to actually go back to my video, keep rewatching my video until you memorize or you fully understand and comprehend the structure of writing task 2 essays, specifically opinion essays. Once you understood this specific structure, it would be quite easy for you to apply the same for all the question types that I'm going to actually highlight in my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching me and for sticking actually to the whole of the video. I wish or I hope that you fully understand my lesson, or you have fully understood my lesson for today. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write it down in the comment section below. I will try to reply to every single one of you individually. Thanks again for watching me. And let me just stop. I have to show myself. So thanks again for watching me today. And I look forward to seeing you again on my channel. Have a beautiful day. And sorry, before I close, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and activate the bell button to help receive all my upcoming videos. Don't forget to do this. I'll be waiting for you on my next video, and I'm going to actually go live in the coming days. So always try to be notified, and don't forget to subscribe, as I told you. Okay, thanks a lot, and I appreciate your presence during the video. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.